Hello everyone, I am Bhumica. I am presently working as a legal intern under LEXIS and Company, a law firm. I am from Reva University, Bangalore, pursuing BLLB honors second year. So let us start off today's topic. Today's topic for the discussion is the Whistleblowers Act. You'll be wondering, right, what do you mean by whistleblower and what is this legislation is all about. So let us begin this topic. So transparency, like transparency means what is happening. Now if this is an organization, what is happening inside the organization, if this inside activities is made available to be known to the public or anyone who claims for that information, so that becomes transparency. Okay, so whatever is happening inside the public authorities or the public bodies, if that is made available, that information is made available to the citizens, so that is known as transparency in the system of government. So this transparency is the keystone for achieving in any if you want to bring any good governance in the system or good administration as well. So for achieving this transparency, there was one landmark legislation which was passed in India, that is Right to Information Act. So through this act, if anyone needs any information regarding any public authorities or in whatever is happening in the public authorities, if anyone seeks information regarding that, according to this Right to Information Act, they can claim that information and they can get it. So that by doing this, what happens, the menace of corruption in our country can be reduced. Okay, so when the information is released, that time what happens, whatever is happening in that system will be known to the public, and if there is any illegal activities or unethical activities such as corruption and so on, so that will be out, right? So then we can combat this corruption. So adding upon this, to improve transparency, one more legislation was passed, that itself is known as whistleblowers legislation. So now for example, for better understanding, I will give an example. Now you guys think that I am working in a public authority and I am noticing that there is corruption going on in that organization. You think that it is government organization. So when I will notice that there is some menace of corruption going on in that authority, so that authority will be trying to close the lid of corruption, right? So but if I open that lid, if I blows the whistle, if I am the whistleblower, so then I will blow the whistle and gives information to the anti-corruption unit that the corruption is happening in this unit. So that time what happens, that corruption, who are all the parties involved in that corruption are shown out to the public, right? So that time I will become the whistleblower. So now I am doing this in the interest of larger public good only. It is very good for bringing transparency in the system, and it is also very good for the public in the large as well, and for development of our country also. That I am doing in a good intention, but here I am not safe. The whistleblower is not safe at all. There are harassment happening on him, or they are murdered as such. So like these things are happening on the whistleblowers who are honest officers in that department, right? So to save them, to safeguard their rights and the whistleblowers, this Whistleblowers Act was passed in India. Okay, so for example, to give an example to prove this is that one activist, and he is also an engineer in one department, his name is Satyendra Dubey. Actually he blowed the whistle in 2003. In 2003, he had blown the whistle against the National Highway Authorities of India's quadrilateral highways project. So in this corruption was happening, he noticed that and he also informed that to the anti-corruption unit, and that time he was murdered. So that means he was an honest officer in that department, and when he unearthed this corruption which is happening in the organization, he was brutally murdered. So this is happening to the whistleblowers. There is no safeguard. So after that, this legislation, that is the Whistleblowers Act legislation, was passed in India. In 2011 the bill was introduced, and in 2014 this was passed. But now okay, let us move on to what is this Whistleblowers Act. What it speaks is that the whistleblowers who and all unearths the corruption and files the complaint, the Central Vigilance Commission will be the nodal agency for looking after this thing. And also when the whistleblowers will blow this whistle, they need to register their name. along with the complaint in the Central Vigilance Commission, where they're going and filing the complaint as such. And also anonymous complaints will not be registered. Like anyone, if I am having any grudge on some other party in the department, I cannot simply give a fake blames on him and tell that he is doing corruption and file a complaint in some other's name. So that is very important here. The whistleblower's name will be registered there, and also his name will not be declared outrightly, I think so, to safeguard his rights and his life as well, so that he will not be having any like assault thing happening to him, or any life security will be there when they will not disclose his name. Okay. And also one more bad thing about this legislation is that it is applicable only to the public offices, and it is not applicable to the private offices. Okay, so this is one drawback of this one. And also anonymous complaints cannot be filed. Okay. But what happens is that the second Administrative Reforms Commission has also gives few recommendations saying that the anonymous complaints can be taken up, but the Central Vigilance Commission can investigate further and decide whether the complaint was true or no. So this was said by second Administrative Reforms Commission. Recommendation was given, but this is not applied till. So this the Whistleblowers Act is very strong act, but the sad part is it is not implemented, or it is not enforced in our country till yet, because the central government is making many vital amendments to that act, and in the same course the act is also not getting implemented, and it is not coming into operation as well. Okay, so this is the sad part. So to maintain transparency in the system, in our governance system, this law need to be operational as soon as possible, and it is very high time that this law needs to be in operation and implemented effectively to take back this menace of corruption from the system, so that India will be developed as soon as possible. If the government try to implement and enforce this law, it will be a very good legislation and a strong legislation to curb out corruption in our system. So by this we'll end our discussion. Thank you so much.